Palestinian ambassador to UK, his name is Husam Zomlot. He gave an interview to Channel 4, and in this interview they have discussed many topics regarding Gaza and what is happening there. One of the topics that they have discussed is representation. Who is going to be representing the people of Palestine? Now, obviously, these Western journalists, they have big qualms with that if Hamas is going to be in authority. They have big problem with that. Let's take a listen at this one, and I will be making some very important points.
Now, when it comes to representation, we saw that quite rare moment from a woman in that film expressing her anger with Hamas in Gaza. And the problem you have is that the Palestinian Authority is not the authority in Gaza, it is Hamas. So how do you get a voice in this process?
Okay, so he said the problem you have, problem who has with Hamas other than Zionists, other than Netanyahu. Obviously, we're not here to say what Hamas did in the past, everything was justified. No, we're not saying that. In fact, we do not support Hamas. We support humanity. We support the Palestinian resistance. That's all we do here. But when it comes to us talking against this resistance force, he's saying that you are the one who is supporting this resistance force, i.e. Hamas. No, we are not talking about that. We are talking about this resistance force, number one, standing up for their right, and number two, they're looking for a permanent solution. The Western media, this scripted journalist, they pose this question in such a way that Hamas is your problem. How are you dealing with that problem? So he's saying to this guy, Husam Zomlot, so how are you going to deal with Hamas? Because Hamas is a big problem. Hamas is a big problem, right? I mean, the lady was angry. He showed a picture of that lady. Oh, the Palestinian lady, she's angry with Hamas. How are you going to deal with Hamas? Right? So this is how this Western journalists, they are scripted and are posing this kind of question to the pro-Palestinians. Let's take a listen to the response.
I mean, otherwise you're just talking to TV studios.
That the Palestinian people, including that hurt woman, most likely she has lost everything. She has lost her home, her family members. She's been displaced many times, starved. She has the right to criticize Hamas, scrutinize Hamas or any Palestinian groups for that matter. But every Palestinian, including that woman, knows that the issue, those who are doing the mass murder, those who are dropping these bombs, those who are killing our children in these schools, 4 schools have been bombarded in the last 24 hours, not just Al-Aud school. Those who are doing that are the Israeli army. It's Israel. And this is not just the last 9 months. It's a history of 76 years.
But what's your proposal for the day
and that's
after?
why our message to the Prime Minister, the new British Prime Minister, our message to the world, we have got to focus on the root cause now. We have got to forget about the status quo ante, how we bring things back to where they were. We need to think of how do we go into a different direction.
But you're not in the room at the moment, are you? I mean, do you have any communication with Hamas as the Palestinian Authority?
Of course they will have communication. Are you a doofus? A goofball? Like, what kind of journalism you're doing? They have, I mean, you have the world's best weaponry in your arsenal, Israel. You have military forces supporting you from all over the world, US, UK, Germany, France, all of these countries. They have propped this military up, Israeli military, the diaper army, for the last 9 months, and yet they cannot defeat Hamas. For the last 9 months, it's going to be almost 1 year very soon. You cannot defeat Hamas. So how can you bypass Hamas and have a Palestinian Authority with whom you will have communication and settle the matter? This is something unbelievable. This is very perverse, the way they are questioning this whole situation. But this is how the Western media narrative is trying to establish Hamas or Palestinian as the problem they want us to see is being embedded in Hamas. As long as they are there, Palestinian will be suffering and there will be massacre, there will be genocide. It is all because of Hamas. This is all they're trying to establish the narrative. They cannot and will not accept the fact that Hamas has become the authority, just like they could not do it with Taliban. US was there for how many years? 21 years, 22 years. They said, we will never accept Taliban as the authority, as the government. Now what they're doing in Afghanistan, who is running Afghanistan? So they have to come to their senses. But the unfortunate thing is that as long as they are peddling this propaganda, this narrative that Hamas is somehow the evil party, they are actually fueling monster like Netanyahu to commit more genocide, to commit and kill more people in Palestine. As long as the Western media is telling us Hamas is bad, Hamas should be removed, which is not possible at all because it's almost 1 year now. They could not be removed from Gaza, from Palestine. As long as the Western media are puppeting this kind of slogan, this kind of claim coming from their own masters like Rupert Murdoch, Netanyahu will keep on killing more and more people. So they really need to stop because this is becoming very, very dangerous.
Well, there are dialogues happening in many places, and the dialogue has been ongoing for a long time. But the dialogue has got to yield an understanding of the national direction, yield an understanding of our commitment, yield to an understanding of what is our national project, and the dialogue is ongoing, and it should continue, and it should be successful. Hamas, all other Palestinian groups, is a Palestinian matter. What is an international matter, what is a British matter, what is an American matter is Israel, because Washington and London are backers of Israel, and Israel, since its inception, has been such a militarized society and state, thinking that by doing more violence, killing more innocent people, you have security. Somebody has got to tell them, and this body has got to be the international system, the international judicial system. By killing more people, you will be punished, more innocent people, you will be punished, and that this will not bring you security. What will bring you security is respecting international law, including protecting civilians, and giving up your subjugation and control of the Palestinian people.
Again, so his question, this journalist, so-called journalist, scripted journalist, he will always go back to his question, which is Hamas is a problem, right? So how you're communicating with them? So who is in charge in Palestine now? So how you going to deal with Hamas, because Hamas is bad, Hamas is evil, right? And in the process, they totally distract us from the actual and the root cause of all of this evil, which is Israel, the diaper force IDF. This is what they are trying to accomplish here. Every time you see any video, any interview that is being conducted by these Western journalists, so-called journalists, or these pundits, they always peddle this narrative that somehow it is Hamas. You need to, for your sake, for your own safety and your security, you need to get rid of Hamas. Otherwise, Israel is going to come after you. And everything that Israel does against the Palestinian people, which is killing, is being justified. And that's really all they want to accomplish here, guys. We need to raise our voice and say enough is enough. Hamas is not the big problem. The problem is Netanyahu, his government, Israel, and their settlers. They need to get rid of them. The world needs to get rid of them, and then we will have peace on earth in Palestine.